Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second podcast for the year. It's a Arsenal Chelsea podcast preview, London Derby, um, battle for fourth place, whatever you want to call it. Today we have Dada representing the Chelsea boys, and we have an in-house person, EeJay. And topics are going to be we're going to do Man United, Arsenal Chelsea combined 11. The two team players in the opposite team you guys fear, and predictions and why. And we also end with a trivia. So since Arsenal is at home, we start with EeJay. EeJay, who's your combined 11 for this season?
For this season.
Correct.
I feel like, okay, so I'm going to preface all this by saying that, we started kind of Chelsea and Arsenal kind of started with a bit of an unbeaten streak. And, we kind of tailed out towards the end or towards recent times. We've not been doing too well. So I feel like the more recent times are in my memory, and it will probably shock you guys. I do pick probably all the back four of Chelsea. So I'll go with Spilicueta, I'll go with Rudiger, I'll go with David Luiz, and I will go with Alonso, and I'll go with their goalkeeper. So that's my back four. That I'm going with the four diamond, two at the top, because in my dreams, I think everyone should play with two strikers for most of the situations. So the person I pick as the team is, I think my team will be whatever Dada puts out.
Who's your coach?
My coach? Out of the two coaches.
Yes.
Yeah. Not Emery. I don't trust him anymore. Who do I? Yeah, I'll go with Sarri. I mean, most of them are his players. Might as well coach them. He just needs a good striker.
Dada, over to you. Combine 11.
Right. It seems like EeJay's pick actually biased me a bit. So I'm going to try to be different. So similar to, funny enough, actually, Chelsea has been consistent all season from the fact that there's nothing that we're doing now that's really shocking, right? So it's been, I mean, if you notice in the beginning of the season, there was a lot of hopes around Jorginho.
Yeah.
And for sure, he's not going to be in the combined 11. So there's been a lot of hopes around Jorginho being sort of this anchor player that's, making shots and calling plays. And that has been a massive disappointment so far. On the other end, you've had Hazard trying to play multiple roles this season, started off on his natural position in the wing, and that's worked very well. And funny enough, if you look at Chelsea's game, ever since Hazard has played as a false nine, we've won games. And I don't think the winning is due to Hazard playing as a false nine. It's just that when you have a useless striker not playing, it actually motivates everyone around you to do better. So there's that. So I'm going to start with the coach, go to the defense, and work my way up to the striker. So interestingly enough, right now, I will actually pick Sarri as the coach, but just marginally. And reason being is I feel he's trying to force a system on a team where he doesn't have the players for. So the problem with Sarri right now is similar to a lot of Italian coaches. They're very pragmatic in their approach. They pick a system and they don't change. So I'll pick Sarri just for that reason. And honestly, it's quite marginal. For goalkeeper, of course, I'll pick Kepa. He's been outstanding this season. I'll go with EeJay also for the back four. I'll keep everyone the same, right? Last season, Alonso had a lot of freedom to run and do what he needed to do because you had this defensive force as Kante covering for him. So I'll pick the back four. I'm actually, you know what? I will drop. I'll drop him and actually put Mustafi in that position. So that's just be my back four. And for midfield, I will have Kante and Torreira sort of in the midfield position. And then going forward, of course, my striker is going to be Aubameyang. That's not, no one is changing that. And then I think I'll flank, like I said, and Hazard together. And reason being is Pedro has been good this season, but he hasn't been consistent, and Willian has a host of issues. So that would be my combined 11.
So you're playing 4-2-3-1.
Yes. So I'm missing a player in the middle, right?
Yeah, because you say you're playing.
Yes.
Kante,
So I'm sorry. So right behind, like I said, I'm going to have right behind Agbami, I'm going to have, like I said, Hazard and let's see, Pedro. Actually, I'll have Pedro.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have Pedro. Yeah.
Pretty,
So that'll be my combined 11. So
pretty interesting. I mean, yeah, if I was going to choose a combined 11, being a neutral, obviously I'll pick Chelsea's back four. Yeah, I think Arsenal's back four has been horrible so far. Centrally, I'll pick Torreira for sure. I'll pick Torreira and Kante. My three will be Hazard. Obviously Hazard, Lacazette from the right, Pedro from the left, and Aubameyang, which is kind of similar to what you did, I think.
Yeah,
that's similar. I think Jorginho is adapting to the pace of Premiership. I know he has come for a lot of criticism. I personally think he's adapting to the pace of Premiership, and I think he started well beginning of the season. The difference is what I've seen. I don't watch a lot of Chelsea games. Maybe I'm wrong. You probably know better, Dada. But the few Chelsea games I've watched is maybe 7 or 8 of them. The difference I've seen with Jorginho beginning of the season when you guys were doing well and now is Chelsea are doing recycled possession a lot. Most of the passes are not forward. They are not penetrating passes. Everything's recycled, and it's going backwards. That's what's happening. Beginning of the season, the quick passing was more forward. Like the interchange in the forward play was better. Now there's a lot of recycled because it goes back to defender goes to wing, it goes forward, it comes back again. And a lot of it I think started from the striker problem you guys had. Morata, then Giroud got injured, then Giroud came back, then the false 9 thing. So I think Jorginho will still come good in the Premiership. I think, especially when Sarri realizes something big is gonna has to happen. Say Chelsea 4. I don't think Chelsea 4 are the top 4. I still think, it's still a long shot. But if Chelsea, for example, don't make top 4 this season, I think Sarri realized that in the Premiership, you kind of have to adapt. You can have your system, but your system has to adapt to like the pace of the league and the players you have, right? Playing, especially that thing he's doing with Kante, I don't understand what he's trying to do. Playing Kante up front. Kante is a screener. His best is a CDM who screens, holding CDM that screens the ball, and sometimes can box to box, but just screening that back for that's what he does best. Playing him as like a forward, it's not even really a box to box. He's playing more like a forward, an attacking midfielder, which is weird. I think that's very weird. That's new Kante. Like it would have even been easier if Kante was one sitting like Kovacic or Barkley does, right? Because this sits kind of close to Jorginho, but instead he's the one going forward. I'm like, I don't know if this is Kante's best position. He might
still is uncomfortable.
Yeah, he looks uncomfortable. He scored a couple of goals because I think he's a very underrated, intelligent player. However, his best position is like more withdrawn. So like because he sees danger quickly and goes to the space, just like what Fernandinho does for City. Good. So we'll just start with you, Dada. Which 2 Arsenal players do you worry about for this game next week?
Aubameyang for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I think he's one of those strikers that it's funny. He's probably number 3 in the top goal scorer, if I'm not mistaken. Either number 2 or number 3, and no one seems to talk about him.
He's tied actually.
He's tied for number 2. Is it tied for number 2 or 1?
Everybody's tied 1. So Salah,
Kane then.
Right? They're all on 14 goals. Right?
3 of them are on 14 goals.
Yeah, they're all on 14 goals, exactly. So I mean, he's on track to win Golden Boot for this season, but yeah, no one talks about him. And the reason I think one of the reasons is one of those players where when you expect him to score, it doesn't necessarily score, but it needs a lot of chances to score. In a way, it reminds me of Cavani, where Cavani would miss a sitter and then he will score. Yeah, So I think that's one player that I'm worried about. And in all honesty, Lacazette, and just because if Lacazette comes off, I don't know if he's going to start him or not, but if Lacazette comes off as a sub, his combination with Aubameyang has been deadly. So those are the two players that I'm worried about. No disrespect to Arsenal, I'm not particularly scared of their midfield. I mean, not to go into predictions now. So those are just the two players, and for the obvious reasons of you're not going to get a lot of chances when you play against Chelsea just because of the possession ball. They tend to hold the ball. But one of the mistakes with Chelsea this season that we've seen is they tend to have this lapse in defense that the teams can take advantage of. You saw it with Newcastle this weekend where, Newcastle had 33% of the ball, but they had 2 shots, 1 goal. And I think there would be, a similar case with Arsenal where they may not have possession or they may have a close possession, but they're not going to waste chances. So those are the 2 players that I'm most worried about.
Okay. Fair point. EeJay.
Okay. I think my answer will be obvious. Hazard, obviously. I think I feel like Hazard always I think he scores against us most of the times he plays against us. But he's their best player. He's their more incisive player. He'll probably tear us apart if we don't mark him properly. And with our defense, the way they're leaking goals, there's every chance that, we're done for immediately he gets on the pitch. So I'm definitely worried about him. And it's hard to pick a second player. I just will go with their goalkeeper. I feel like I think it will be hard to break Chelsea. I feel like for us, our problem is our defense, and then our midfield is not creative enough, especially the way our coach is playing right now. So scoring goals may be difficult for us. And if it's already difficult for us, then their goalkeeper is going to stop us, and it'll just be hard. So I'm going to pick Hazard and their goalkeeper. That's the 2 people I'm concerned about.
Interesting. If I was a Chelsea fan, I would be worried, obviously, about Aubameyang and Torreira, just because of the bite. If he gets on the ball, the bite he brings to the midfield, he dispossesses. He can take over the midfield. The bites, his passing,
What are you talking about, Torreira?
Yes, I say if I was a Chelsea fan, I would worry about Torreira and Aubameyang just because of what Torreira does. Aubameyang for obvious reasons, he's a very good goal scorer. If I was an Arsenal fan, Hazard for sure. Another person, I think, considering how weak you guys are on the left, is whoever plays on that wing, whether it's Hudson-Odoi or Willian on that wing. I think on the left, I think Kolasinac is, I don't know. I think he's just a wing back. I think that's what he is. Back at all. He's almost like Alonso, but I think Alonso is slightly better in reading danger. He just slips off on square balls. Kolasinac is going to be a major worry, especially if William plays there, I think. So stay with EeJay with predictions. EeJay.
Okay. So I think because I'm going to say something that's probably not how my if I was going to say something that's very intelligent and very based on numbers and everything, I'll go the opposite of that. I will pick Arsenal. I think we need to turn the tide around. We're going down. We have no option but to win this game. So I pick us to win, and I will give us slight edge. We will concede because we've not kept a clean sheet in a while.
Okay.
I'll go with a 2-1 victory. Chelsea will score, probably Hazard, and then we will get 2 goals up front. I'll give Aubameyang 1 and whoever else 1. I definitely think we can score. We can try to score. I just think team selection is key. Emery still does not know his starting 11. He still doesn't know his best players. He's still dropping Ozil for whatever reason that no one else understands. And so if he can, get over that. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate too much, but I feel like there's a rift there. If he can figure that out and bring Ozil into the pitch, Ozil's our most creative player, then we have a chance in the midfield. And I'll say this: Ozil does get pushed off the ball easily, especially against physical teams, teams that are better than us and everything. He gets pushed off the ball, but that spark of creativity that he can bring, you can't buy it with Guendouzi. You can't buy it with some of these other players that he's been fielding for the last 3 weeks and not really doing anything. So you guys have seen we've been struggling against even Fulham. We beat them 4-1 or 4-2, but it was a struggle. We've lost how many games? Lost a couple or drawn one and then lost 2. And Ozil has been absent in most of those games. So I think he's key to righting that ship. If he can come back, and he's not injured, come back, I think that will make a difference. They need to figure out how to plug Ramsey in. Ramsey is a veteran on our team. He can figure things out. You can't play Xhaka, Guendouzi, and Iwobi in our middle and expect, penetration from them. To me, Xhaka should be playing in a 2-person base as one of the person that, he doesn't go forward too much, but he's not really good at going forward. He's actually someone that loses the ball a lot.
He can pass.
He's good at passing. He's good at picking a pass. But when he picks a pass, what happens? There's a chance that the ball can go errant. And that's something that people ignore. The same thing with Guendouzi. Guendouzi can pick a pass, but if he doesn't pick the right pass, the ball goes away and we lose possession. Torreira didn't play. He didn't start our last game. And that's, because he played the other game and other things. They're trying to rotate players. But he has to start. You have to have someone protecting the back four. Our back four, which that's another thing. I don't know. Should he be playing the back four? May need to play back. Should be playing back 3. He goes to the back 3 for the most part. He may need to go back to a back 4, which is how we were winning games initially. So he just needs to pick the right team. If he does that, how he did against Tottenham. We started the game, we were on the losing end. We switched things around. I feel like we're not seeing that again. We haven't seen that since that day. So let him pick the right team. We can do it, and we can beat Chelsea. We're at home. We should have beaten them the first game.
Okay, interesting. Dada.
So valid point from EeJay actually. So the 2 coaches are quite different in the sense that Emery is not aware of who his first 11 is, while Sarri knows his first 11. It might not be the first 11 we want, but he knows his first 11, and he's been consistent with his picks. So I'll give a few points, and I'll sort of prefix why this is my sort of prediction. So if you look at Sarri, the way he plays is he knows the same 11. Funny enough, Chelsea is consistent in how they play. So when we're playing Newcastle this weekend, I knew it was going to be a low-scoring game. I actually predicted maybe 1-0 or 2-0. So the way is if you notice something, Chelsea has been underperforming at home against lower tier oppositions like Southampton, Newcastle, Everton, teams that you'd expect, we'll put 3 past them or 4 past them. And the reason is quite simple. When Chelsea plays at home, you're on the attacking front. When you play this lower opposition, they tend to sit back and soak up all the pressure. Now, that's great when you don't have a Diego Costa, when you don't have a striker like Aguero who can make good runs and you can get passes to. So, and that's what they do. They just sit back. That's what Newcastle did. Southampton did it very successfully. Sat back. Chelsea had all the passes. I believe they had 80% possession. They passed all day. They knew you don't have a striker. You're not going to get crosses on the ball, so nothing is going to happen. Now, flip back to Arsenal. Arsenal at home, Arsenal is going to be on the front foot. They're going to bring the game to Chelsea. What that does is it opens, it leaves gaps behind for Chelsea to actually play. So it's almost advantageous because now we don't have to play the back and forth passing game. Arsenal is going to create the space that we need for us. So in that regards, that actually gives us one advantage. The second advantage that Chelsea also has in this game is, I believe, player for player, we have a better midfield. Now, due to that fact, that can actually let us control the play. My only concern is the striker. If David Luiz has a great game, if Rudiger has a great game, and if they're able to contain Aubameyang, that's it, game over. Now, and it's a lot to put on David Luiz because once in a while he goes crazy, loses the ball. But if they have a good game, if Arsenal leave space behind, which I know they will because they're going to be attacking, they're going to be on the front foot, Chelsea would win 2-1. So that is my prediction if those things happen. So I don't want to edge my bets by saying if this, then that. So my prediction is going to be 2-2. I think it's going to be a draw for those two reasons. Arsenal are going to be on the front foot. Chelsea will take advantage of that. There might be some lapses in our defense that Arsenal could take advantage of, and they have a fantastic striker. So that's my prediction. It's going to be 2-2 it's going to be a draw. Now, United's win today has actually changed the dynamics because all of a sudden now, if I'm to be honest, and I hate to say this, I'm actually worried about United creeping up slowly because 6 points it's not a lot. All you need is a loss and a
Two
draw,
games.
and all of a sudden, you're back to back. So I think the score today is actually going to put a lot of pressure on both teams. It's going to force both teams to go for it, and that's why they're going to end up with a draw. So that is my prediction for the Chelsea Arsenal game. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be exciting. Arsenal are going to go for it, and Chelsea will take advantage of the gaps left behind.
I'm going to add one thing, sorry, before I say anything. I think for Arsenal, I was going to add about the two strikers, Aubameyang and Lacazette that we have. I do think they have to play together. They need to fit them both into the starting team. And that's because they have different kinds of abilities. Aubameyang is a good, he's top goal scorer, so you can't ignore him. But he does need service to play. And then Lacazette can create his own chances. So they have two different styles, and they need to be on the pitch at the same time to give us the best chance. And I just don't know if Emery will do that. So that's, like I said before, Emery has to pick the team. He has to pick it right, and he needs to go for it. 2-1.
Emery doesn't like.
We can't draw. Like, you guys are ahead of us. We cannot afford to draw. Look at Manchester United. They don't even know what losing means anymore.
We are rebuilding, guys.
We're rebuilding too.
I just try to avoid relegation. That's what we're doing. That's all we're doing. Don't worry about us. We're just doing our thing. Just happy that we didn't get relegated by the nameless one, the man I'm never going to leave, the other one. So my prediction, I think it's going to be a draw too. That's what I think. I think both teams are going to have to go for it. Arsenal is going to go for it. Right? They'll be up for it. It's a derby. They have to go for it. They know, like United, they know they don't have a great defense, so they're going to have to go for it. They're just going to have to, because if they can't even sit back. If they sit back, Chelsea will win the game easily. So because Chelsea is the kind of team you typically don't want them to get a lead on you in the big game. They have those same players. They're rugged, Rudiger, Kante. They'll sit back. Like, Chelsea is probably the only team in the EPL, and maybe Liverpool now, the Liverpool set up with Van Dijk and all of that can, in my opinion, can get a lead like they had a lead on City and close that game down and win 2-0. It's only Chelsea and this Liverpool of this season that can do that, because that game that they did that's a typical Chelsea type of game, and that's why in big games, if you want to have a chance of winning or everything, you have to score first. Now, apart from that game you guys played early this season, I guess if they scored 2 goals first, you guys equalized 2-2. I remember Standard. So they have their typical lapses, but typically Chelsea is a very rugged team when it comes to holding leads. They'll hold on to it and they'll sit on that lead. So Arsenal's going to have to go for it. Right? So I think it's going to be a draw. Very interesting game. I see Hazard scoring, maybe Aubameyang, and I see Ramsey scoring actually, because Ramsey is one of those guys that scores in big games. So, although he's leaving.
When is he leaving?
Juve.
When is he getting the Juve?
After the end of the season. We're counting down.
So are you going to be? Have you bought your Juve?
Not yet. It's coming in the mail.
Okay. Now we go to trivia.
I don't think I prepared at all for trivia. I keep forgetting that's one of the things.
That's why it's trivia. That's why I don't see anything about it. Okay, we'll start with EeJay as the home team. EeJay, which of these players didn't play for Arsenal and Chelsea. It's very simple. It's
No,
very simple trick.
this has to be simple.
That's
Right.
simple. Emmanuel Petit, Yossi Benayoun, Gael Clichy, or William Gallas.
That's easy. Gael Clichy.
Yeah, it's an easy one. I don't want to give you hard trivia anymore.
Yes.
Dada.
Can I get an easy one too?
Yeah, it's easy. That's what I said. I give easy trivia today. I was like, I'm happy. My team won. Let me just do easy trivia this time around. Which Arsenal player joined the Arsenal Chelsea game in the Premiership scored a 15 minutes hat trick and ended 3-2?
Van Persie?
No, let me give you a list now.
Oh, sorry.
Henry, Davosuka, Kanu, or Youngberg.
I want to say Kanu.
Yeah, that's Kanu. That's it. Today it's easy.
It's Kanu's claim to fame.
Yeah, exactly. That was the game that like pretty much. Well, I wasn't put him on the map in EPL.
Yeah, I mean he's been known, but obviously that's one thing that people point to
Correct.
when they remember Kanu.
If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, has there ever been an Arsenal player who scored a hat-trick against Chelsea ever since then? I want to say no.
I think Van Persie scored a hat trick against you guys.
Against Chelsea?
5-2. Yeah. Oh, it was 5-3 or 5-2. Remember when Terry slipped? Remember that game?
Yeah,
Terry slipped, and that was an amazing game.
Okay. All right.
That was 5-3. Yes,
Yeah.
I think one person did. Is that got a hat trick or a brace? I don't remember. I absolutely don't remember. To be fair.
Yeah, it's either or, either a brace or a hat trick.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty much the end of the podcast. This was fun. We'll see what happens next week. I think it's Saturday or Sunday. The game starts on Sunday. Sunday game? Okay. I wish you guys have like 5 red cards each that day. We've come to the end of the podcast. If you're watching, smash that like button. And at the end of the podcast, all our social channels will be there. EeJay, thanks for coming as always. Dada, thanks for coming on the podcast. Yeah, have a good
Down Chelsea.
guys.
That's cute.